Hello, everyone, and welcome to Season 2, Episode 1 of the Weed LLC podcast. I'm so excited to be live on YouTube for this. I used to deal with, the FB, but yeah, screw that nonsense. So, I'm going to be here every week, and I do apologize. It's snowing, and you're going to hear plows. I didn't think of that. Sorry, y'all. If I close the window, I'll die. Just kidding. So, anyway, each week I'll start off with little updates and some news and, see what's happening. And then I'll get into the week's subject. So, first things first. This is some Stardog Guava from Farm RX, and I love it. Um, so, couple of updates, as you can see on the bottom of the ticker. We do have the My Birthday sale. My birthday is Valentine's Day, so I will be having a sale until then. 20% off all shirts and hoodies. All you have to do is use promo code SWEETHEART. I also am going to be having some other things coming up. I'll get to that later. So today, I wanted to talk about history of the word marijuana. For a long time, and I've heard people in the business say this, California, Colorado people, been at it for years, that marijuana is like a derogatory term. And I never understood that. I just totally never got that. Um, well, I looked into some of the history on it, and it became derogatory in the U.S. in the 1930s when they tried to do prohibition and started, the 1937 law that shut us down. But about 500 years ago, when the Spaniards, we'll just say, were coming to the Americas to colonize, which, you guys should know, I hope, from history class, that started down in the Caribbean. It wasn't just Plymouth Rock. It was down in the Caribbean, and they kind of worked their way up, and then the Pilgrims claim to fame. I have no idea why. Anyway, so when the Spaniards came into the islands in Mexico, um, like maritime exploration, that time, they were using hemp, and they used hemp for everything: sails, ropes, um, just fibers, foods, anything. They used hemp for everything. Um, so they wanted to start growing hemp here so that they could make stuff like sails to get back to the mainland. So when they showed up here, you guys know what they did. Okay. When they were in Mexico and they were trying to Christianize everyone, um, they didn't realize that, well, when they got here, they realized that the indigenous nations like the Mayans, the Aztecs, all the way down the islands, used psychoactive plants like mushrooms, peyote, morning glory, and they considered that like a spiritual experience. They would use it in their religious rituals, and it was basically like when you used it, you had godlike qualities. The plant had godlike qualities, so then you got the godlike qualities. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with the grandfather spirit. Anyway, so the indigenous folks used all these psychoactive plants for their spiritual well-being. And so the Spaniards said, hey, guess what? You're not allowed to do that anymore. So we want you to grow our hemp so that we can use that. And we don't want to see you doing any of that kind of stuff. And if you do, you're going to be in some trouble. So they tried to tell the indigenous folks, like the wine is the blood of, and all the religious stuff, and they were just like, um, this piece of bread didn't take me to another spiritual level. So what the hell is this crap? So this is technically like the first prohibition. They took their plants and they were just like, if you are to use any of these plants, it better be in the name of Jesus Christ. So this is where the word marijuana comes in. I don't know if you guys ever knew this. They had to hide and sneak their cannabis use. They realized that a little bit of THC that was in that hemp did take them to another spiritual place. So they started using it in their rituals, but they didn't want to get caught. So they started using words like Mary to describe it. Therefore, it was a Christian ritual that they were doing. Genius. Um, so they would say stuff like Doña Maria, which is like, the Don is the Don, or Doña is the female version. Doña Maria. Marijuana is literally Mary and John. Rosa Maria, the flower of Mary. And they also, sometimes they would have marijuana with a G instead of a J. But that nowadays, I've heard in Mexico, I don't know how true this is, but that's like a derogatory term, like you're a pothead, like you're a slacker. So I thought that was pretty interesting. So they kind of started using that marijuana. When U.S. wanted to make it illegal, they started using the Mexican indigenous people as an example of why it was bad. You know how the white folks did. So they would say that, like, the Mexican marijuanas are like the lower class compared to the elite that ran Mexico. So the US used it like to persuade prohibition, like, you don't want to be like those dumb Mexicans. And that's really fucked up. I'm sorry I had to say that out my mouth. So they really like used it to badger people, like derogatorily, like it's just to describe a person of lesser human value. And that's just insane. So for many years, people in the cannabis industry saw marijuana as a derogatory term and they tried not to use it. And then, as you notice, our government has named our medicine medical marijuana. That is also to note that we are less than. Yes, they really do use the word less than. So we have to break this stigma once and for all. Pardon the plow. I'm so sorry. I was going to have music on and everything, and it didn't happen. So, even the gentleman who owns the school that I take my cannabis classes at told everybody not to use marijuana for like 10 years. Like, that's a bad word. Don't use that. Like, no. But it literally is the genus, the scientific term for these plants. And they're trying to honor the name, not have it be derogatory. And I know that I didn't know that. So I'm sure a lot of other people didn't know that either. We really like, you need to learn some history. Oh, I didn't even know the comments were over here. Hi, everybody. A little bit crazy. Hey, how you guys doing? I didn't know I could swipe over and see you guys. My bad. So, to me, marijuana is a beautiful word. Yes, it is the Christianized version that indigenous people had to use in order to get by. And I don't know. I can't see it as derogatory. I really can't. But they did say, like, in Mexico still today, it's kind of used as, like, they'll say marijuana, you pothead, you know? So I just thought that was so interesting, and the way that, like, they really, like, shut everybody's open-mindedness down. That's messed up. But we're going to have it back very soon. I still say this year. Other people disagree with me. I would at least like the paperwork to be voted in. But it has to be soon. Like, come on, guys. You're losing so much money by having it illegal. Come on. So, oh, I forgot to grab my darn book. Pardon me one moment. It's right here. Okay. So, I wanted to go over the history of marijuana, but I will get more into that. But then I want to get into one, hemp versus marijuana. Cannabis is all of it. Hemp, marijuana, two different things. I know this is international, so I have to put the US disclaimer in front of it for everything I'm about to say. This is just in the United States. Hemp is considered anything that has 0.3% THC or less. If you have a hemp plant that happens to measure in at, say, 1% THC, the government considers that marijuana. What? No, it's hemp with a high THC level. It's not marijuana. But legally in the United States, anything over 0.3% THC, Delta 9 THC, is considered marijuana. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard. How about you just say it has a THC in it, and therefore it's illegal? I don't get it. So I got the intervening book. This is from the Trichome Institute. Great educational place. That's where I'm getting my certification. And I wanted to explain a little bit to you about species and the controversy of the name of indica and sativa. Indica and sativa can only be used in today's time to describe a feeling that you get. You cannot say that this is a sativa. No, it's not, because everything in this world today is a hybrid, unless you have a landrace strain. That's only those strains, and there's very few of them left, are genuine to what they are. Every single thing else is a hybrid. Sativa is used to describe up feelings, stimulated feelings. Indica is used to describe low feelings, sedative, calming. But in the cannabis world, where growers and everything like that, they use broadleaf, which is, you know, the big fluffy ones we like, big thick ones. Broadleaf is indica. Narrow leaf, which is this one, is sativa, technically. That's narrow leaf. So there are so many different like genus that you can't use indica and sativa anymore. No, don't do it. So I'm going to just show you I don't know, am I backwards or not? I am backwards, right? Oh, no, I'm not. Yay. Okay. I'm going to try to show this to you guys. This is like the family tree of cannabis. All right. I'll read it to you. I still do not know how to pronounce this properly. I am not a scientist. Canna bouquet. I want to say. Cannabis, say? I don't know how to say it. Anyway, cannabis sativa is the daddy of them all. Then it branches out to indica, subspecies indica, sativa, subspecies sativa, and what you guys know as autoflowers are sativa subspecies ruderalis. That is what a lot of people don't know. Ruderalis. Sorry, I would say ruderalis. It's ruderalis. So from the indica, you get hemp, which is sativa subspecies indica, variant Chinesis, which means it's from China continent. Then you have marijuana, which is cannabis sativa subspecies indica, variant Afghanica, from Afghanistan. Then you have marijuana, cannabis sativa subspecies indica, variant indica. That is straight indicas, as we call them. Like, this is a straight indica. There's no mixing it up. Then from the sativa, you can get the sativa subspecies sativa is hemp. And then that's cannabis sativa subspecies sativa, variant sativa. That's so sativa, that's hemp. And then the ruderalis is the autoflowers. So that's subspecies ruderalis and variant ruderalis. Now they call these broadleaf hemp, broadleaf marijuana, narrowleaf marijuana, narrowleaf hemp, and moderate leaf autoflower. So that's what they're using nowadays. Broadleaf hemp, and you only see like B's and N's, and the M is the mid-grade. Where is my little, medium leaf marijuana. So you will see BLM, MLM, and NLM. This is the new indica sativa. It's really not new, but we're learning. So it honestly, it doesn't matter. There are so many crosses. It's just phenomenal. I really will say, I think the only true indicas and sativas are landrace, and that would be Acapulco Gold, Mexican Red, Thai stick. Like, those are the only pures. All this stuff is hybrids. So you can say it makes me feel like an indica. You can say it makes me feel like a sativa. But it is not one or the other. You really can't just say it. It's just not happening. So I honestly thought I had too much information for you guys. I thought this would be a lot longer. So I'm going to keep going. Yeah, where is my little doohickeys? I have a circle and the I thought they were in the book. They're not. So anyway, the characteristics that they use to determine, and I'm learning all this for, like, you can use your nose to determine what a plant is. You don't have to know where it came from. You can just smell it and look at it, and you can eventually, once you learn all this stuff, say, oh, this is a broadleaf, or oh, this is a narrowleaf. So broadleaf, referred to as indica, commonly produces effects that are mentally sedative, relaxing, and mellow, with a strong couch lock physical effects. BLM is considered to work best for people who enjoy being stoned or suffers from symptoms like chronic pain, anxiety, and PTSD. These effects are provoked by higher levels of terpenes like myrcene, linalool, and beta-caryophyllene. Those are the ones we like, you know, ladies. Then you got the medium leaf, MLM. Since cannabis plants are a hybrid of broadleaf and narrowleaf varieties, the medium produces a variety of effects with a balanced euphoria. This is dependent upon the level of hybridization and which subspecies has a more dominant effect over the other. For example, a NLMD will have more of a typical narrow leaf of sativa effect than that's medium dominant. Narrow leaf, medium dominant. It will have more of a stimulating terpene effect within the plant's chemotype fingerprint. So narrow leaf, as we all know, is sativa, commonly produces mental and physical effects that are energetic, euphoric, and stimulating. I like them sometimes. You can get energetic, stimulate your mind, productive focus, adventurous mood. Paranoia is a risk. But good things to attend are like concerts and art museums and stuff like that when you're taking it. These are best for seeking creativity, energy, and alertness, or who suffer from symptoms of depression, lethargy, and fatigue. These effects are provoked by higher levels of terpenes like limonene, pinene, and terpinolene. Yes, if you start off with a high terpinolene and then a limonene and then a pinene, that usually is a good one for me. It's not too up, but it's just enough. Those who experience anxiety or paranoia from narrow leaf generally have better experiences with indicas, broadleaf. So, I have the weed wheel. It's in the other room. I really should have brought it for you guys. But you can just look at it and it says like narrow leaf. It usually smells like grapefruit, tangerines, diesel, or solvents. You smell it. When you smell it, you'll feel it right here. And it's, the tiny leaves. When you smoke a narrow leaf, it goes straight right here, and usually ends up in your fingertips and feet. Didn't know that. Never thought of that. Let me grab my weed wheel, because now I want to know what else they say. All right, so we were on this one. All right, so say it's a narrow leaf dominant plant. It will usually smell like lemon, sage, roses, or pine. And when you smell it, you'll feel it more like straight right here. Like this is sativas. You feel it right here. You will feel it right in here. They have a little bit of a thicker leaf, and you'll feel it absolutely in your hands and feet and more in your chest, and it'll come down a little farther in the high. Just so you guys can get what I'm talking about. See the little graph with the red? And then at the more indica like you get, the more body feeling you get. So if it's a medium leaf, which is a true hybrid pretty much, usually smells like oranges, berries, hops, and jasmine. You'll feel it like, whoo, like I already know exactly what they mean, but when you take a whiff of it and you feel like you're about to sneeze. That's a true hybrid. That's insane. Then you have the broadleaf dominant, indica dominant. Usually smells like timber, peppercorns, lavender, or thyme. You will get it really strong right here, like, whew. You know what I'm talking about? When you open it, like, whew. That's more of an indica dominant. Oh, sorry, I didn't show you the body effects. So indica dominant, you feel it kind of like the outskirts. That's weird. I know, this wheel's great, right? Then you have broadleaf, which is the true indicas. They will smell or taste more like leather, chocolate, tobacco, or mushrooms. So true. Garlic cookies, GMO, definitely. Those are the big, dense, broad leaves, big, fat ones. And it pretty much covers the rest of your body. But if you look at the nose part, it's just red right here, which means it's like, whew, right? That's one of those, you smell it through the bag, you open the jar, and you're like, ooh, those are indicas. See, I didn't know that. I'm learning so much, and I know a lot, I thought. Um, that just smelling them, the potency of the smell, the way your nose reacts, determines whether it's a sativa or an indica. And that blows my mind. So when you sit there smelling something and it's like, oh, and you can really go, that's going to be more of a sativa leaning, a narrow leaf leaning strain. All this is very interesting. I also have this little handy dandy. This is called the interpening loop. It flips 1,000 different ways and shows you everything. I love it. So, this tells me what the wheel just told me pretty much. Yeah. So this is like the plant structure. This is just a chart of the wheel pretty much. All right, now you go flip, flip. Now this is how to tell when a trichome is ready, when your plant's ready to be picked, if it's cured properly. Unacceptable visual characteristics. Faulty structure, form, color, or shape is off. Trim, excess trim remains on or overly trimmed into the flower. Color, brown, tan, lime green, yellow, unnatural dyes. Pistils are white, yellow, or brown. You really want your pistils to be clear. Yeah. You want them to just be turning cloudy, just white. Hermaphrodite. It'll have antlers, seeds, or microseeds. That's an antler. Let's see. That's an antler, which means it's about to be a hermaphrodite. And that's what a seed looks like when it's pollinated. And also fungus. I think I have powdery mildew, jar rot, trichomes. They can be damaged, low density, many clear, or amber. These are what your trichomes look like. Right there. We're going to be learning lots of stuff, guys. I'm so excited. All right. Unacceptable odor characteristics. This is good to know. You ready, guys? Unattractive smells. Mold, sulfur, unnatural perfumes. I can't talk to it. And off-putting salt and pepper. Improper flush. Light to heavy salt. Acid, stale, dry hay, hint of urine. Now, so why is cheetah piss good? I don't know. Loss of terpenes and psychotropic effects will have like no pungency. So, yeah, this little thing teaches you lots. So anyway, then you can flip like that, and it tells you about high quality, the highest quality, and just acceptable quality in plants. And then it gives you all the aromas of terpenes, which I use all the time because sometimes I'm like, what does that taste? What does that taste? Pinene, we all know, tastes like pine, cedar, rosemary, or sage. Limonene will taste like lime, lemon, grapefruit, or orange. Myrcene tastes like hops, mint, cloves, or lemongrass. Linalool tastes like lavender, mint, laurels, or lilies. Terpinolene tastes like tea tree, lilac, apple, cumin, and pine. So that's why that one tastes piney. Just understood now. And then beta caryophyllene is black peppercorns, cloves, cinnamon, and oregano. Yeah. So that's why I sit here. I study this a little while, and then like you guys will see me smoke when I do reviews, and I'll just be like, and trying to identify which one I'm tasting, and they literally just go in a row. Um, Sometimes blending together, and it makes it hard to determine what it is. But hopefully, you got it from a dispensary and you have the lab results. Maybe not. But I am excited to learn more. I really should have prepared some more because I didn't think you guys would even watch this long. So next week I'm going to break down weed like they break down wine, like a sommelier. And I'm going to explain to you guys a little bit of that's how real growers know if the soil's good, if the nutrients are right. Like it's all based on wine, pretty much. It's based on typicity. It's based on the farming, and then I don't know. It just breaks it all down. I will get to know, like, teach you guys the taxonomy. I did say it right. The terroir. That's like the different subtle nuances. And yeah, the whole appellation process. So we have lots to learn. You see this book? It's a good one. And I'm going to teach you guys so much. You're going to be like, that's too much. I need a pen and a paper. Can you say that again? And I just want to teach you guys exactly what I learned. I'm actually going to talk about tolerance next week and how to do tolerance breaks if you want to. You don't really need to. My tolerance breaks just mean I take more CBD. That's all. So I'm going to go over all that stuff next week. I want to talk about tolerance, how to use CBD, and I'm going to write this down because I make sure I told you guys. Tolerance and how to use CBD with that. And then why it works for some people and doesn't work for others. So I thank you, everybody who joined in live, which would be crazy, little bit. And I can't see who the third and fourth person are. I can't see who you guys are. But I love you. Thank you for chiming in. Don't forget, I have my birthday sale going, 20% off all shirts and hoodies. Just use the promo code SWEETHEART because I'm a Valentine's baby and I'm trying to share the love. So I will see you guys very soon. Stay tuned. I'll just so you know, in between episodes, I will be doing strain reviews, or if there's a major news break or something like that, I'll be chiming in live and letting you guys know. All right. Thank you. See you guys later. Stay lifted.